Welcome to On Air with Kash. Our guest today is an actor and author known for his roles in Life Unexpected, Wonder Woman, and Jurassic World Dominion. He's appeared in numerous Hallmark movies and series, including his latest film, We Wish You a Merry Christmas with Marisol Nichols. Please welcome Kristoffer Polaha.
What's up, Kash?
Kristoffer, it is so good to see you, my friend. I'm envious of this view. I know it's been a few years. I saw you just before the pandemic at the Hallmark event, and it was just perfect timing for the holidays.
That's right. It was, and it was good to see you because you and I used to see each other on a pretty regular basis back in the day, making the rounds, doing the thing in Hollywood, right?
You know it. There wasn't a month that went by where, I didn't run into you. We'd have a great conversation. We'd chat about life. And I would always see you on TV. Even over the last 3 years alone, I'm like, there he is again. There he is again.
Yeah, it's called having 3 children and mouths to feed. I'm always like, sure, I'll do that job. That sounds great.
Because I actually just read an article about you too. And you said 2016 is when you really started taking on the Hallmark roles regularly. And you say you shoot them in about 3 weeks. You got a good budget, and it's also an opportunity for you to bring your family and your kids around to show them what you do.
That's right. There's some stuff on television that you make and you just don't want your kids watching it for whatever reason. Maybe it's too violent. Maybe there's some sexual content in it, and you're like, I don't know that, especially I got an 11-year-old and then my 16 and 18-year-old, they're now seeing more and more of the stuff that I used to do or can do. But there was nothing greater than like making a movie where I know families can sit down, watch it, where you can go from the grandparent all the way down to the grandkid, and people are going to have a good time. And there's something just good old fashioned television, like what we used to, I guess what I grew up watching,
I remember it too. I mean, even growing up in the 90s, I feel you on that, where even watching TGIF, or my family and I bonded over that. I mean, my dad would introduce me to like reruns of classic shows on Nick at Night. I'd watch my cartoons. They didn't explain who this actor was or this comedian was. And I mean, really, and Hallmark is a tradition in our family as well. So we look forward to, we get the cocoa ready, we barbecue, we make cookies. We're very festive.
I love it.
Oh yeah, and actually, you actually made me look really cool at that event because we were there, and my mom's a fan, and I know my mom, and she's like, "Kash, that's Kristoffer. He's a Hallmark actor. Does a lot of movies." I'm like,
you're like, know that guy? He's my friend.
My friend. Do you want to meet him? And so you scored me some good points with Mom, and you made her night. So thank you for that.
That's awesome. Well, your mom's a lovely woman, so it was a pleasure to meet her.
She is incredible. And fast forward now, we have you in a new movie. We Wish You a Merry Christmas with Marisol Nichols.
That's right. This one's a little departure for Hallmark. We start out with a couple that is already married and they're on the brink of divorce. And when you meet them, you literally meet them in their psychiatrist's or their marriage therapist's office. We're basically saying we're done. It's over. There's no more bridges to cross. There's no more roads to go down. We've tried everything. And the therapist says, you know what? Give me one more weekend. Just go to Vermont. Just give me 3 nights. And let me see if I can't, let's see if we can't make something happen. And then, of course, in good old Hallmark fashion, 3 nights turns into the week before Christmas, turns into the whole thing, and we're stuck. And we decided, Marisol and I, we tried to find those moments in the script where we could show that they really did love each other and really did care for each other and that they really were right for each other. And then we also just added a ton of humor. And I think it's a happy result. I'm really proud of the film, and everyone I've heard from the network who's watched it, I mean, they placed it right at the front. We're launching the countdown to Christmas, which I think is a good sign. We've gotten a lot of good reviews internally of just how happy they were with the product. So I think the audience is going to love it. That's my gut feeling is it's going to be one of the favorites again this year.
Oh, I can't wait for it. I know, and it was such an interesting concept too, because I've only been able to see the trailer. There's been a few clips online, and it's everything that you're saying, where we're getting the feel that there's this division between the two of them. So as a Hallmark fan and as the audience, I'm looking at this like, I want this weekend in Vermont to be magical in perfect Hallmark fashion. I know I'm going to be tuning into it this weekend when it premieres and is available. And it's really good to see you and Marisol. Marisol actually met around the same time as I met you. I actually just saw her at the Action Icon Award. She got the Activision Award this past weekend for her work. Both are just so passionate and so talented people who have so much respect for it. So to see the two of you team up on a project like this is just magic.
Thanks, Kash. Yeah, she is remarkable. And the work that she does off camera for people who are being trafficked is, unbelievable. She should win some humanitarian awards, not just Action Icon Awards, although that's cool too. But she's doing incredible work.
we actually have something else in common because right when I was graduating from college, so it was probably right before I met you, I had a lethal arrhythmia at the gym at 24 Hour Fitness, and I was revived because a defibrillator had just been placed at the gym. And that was at a point in my life where I felt like, I wasn't living up to my fullest potential. There were some personal things happening. And so that second chance in life gave changed my outlook. And I know that you had a similar experience that you attributed to bringing your faith back and really setting you on this path that you're on right now. And just your career has skyrocketed ever since.
You know what's funny, Cash? How old were you when that happened to you?
I was 22.
22. So I want to say I was I might have been around, no, so I was 20 when mine happened. And I was walking through New York City. I was going up 6th Avenue, and somebody was trying to burn down their restaurant like at 11:45 at night, and they lit some trash on fire in the basement, but they did it by using gasoline, and the air became volatile. So when they hit the match, the whole basement just went, in flames. And it came up out of the grate of the sidewalk and then rolled back in and tore through the restaurant, blasted out the storefront windows. But two things happened that night, which changed my life forever. One, I was walking with a friend of mine, Catherine, and guess what, dude? Today, October 21st, is the anniversary of the blast. And my friend Catherine Smith, she just texted me like an hour ago. She's like, kaboom, guess what day it is? And we always say happy blast anniversary. We always have this day. So it's crazy that we're talking about it today. So yeah, it was October 21st, and I was standing on her right, and I was between her and the traffic because I was a young gentleman, and I knew that if a car was going to jump up, it's going to hit me, not her, and I was doing the gentlemanly thing. And Cash, I can't tell you why, but I moved to the other side of her, so now I was between her and the building. And I said to her, I don't know why, but I feel better on this side of you. Like, those are the words that came out of my mouth. I don't know why, but I feel better on this side of you. We walked another block, then all of a sudden I heard this tick, 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 tick. And then all I saw was the orange of fire. The thing disappeared. The next thing I know, I saw one of those red leather cases that they deliver pizza in, like floating in front of me in slow motion. The next thing after that, I was standing in 6th Avenue, facing downtown. So I was facing the World Trade Towers. Catherine was literally 30 feet standing in the street facing north. So she was looking at the Empire State Building. And it's almost as if this giant entity just picked us up and moved us in the street. The lights were red, so there was no traffic in the avenue. All that to say, man, I got chopped open on my face right here. This was 80 stitches right here, my hand. And then my wrist here was a total of 120 stitches. And when we got to the hospital, the fire marshal showed up and he said, it's a miracle that you guys are alive. You should be decapitated because there was plates of glass the size of Frisbees over 6 lanes of traffic. So the force of the blast was intense. And what's even crazier is what I was wearing that night was a sheep shear jacket, so a thick leather jacket, thick cords, white polo shirt. And I had clipped all of the glass that would have chopped up Catherine, who was only wearing jeans, a white t-shirt, and a windbreaker. I was overdressed for the weather. She was underdressed for the evening. But it was a miracle that I moved. And then something supernatural happened where we were just lifted up and out of harm's way. And I don't know. I mean, ever since then, it was like I feel like my life's been like icing on the cake or gravy, anything after that. And you're right. It reignited my faith. It was too hard for me to believe that we're a random collection of cells spinning through darkness. Like I had to make sense of the world that we live in and the universe that we live in. And there's some sort of creator that loves us and that designed this whole thing and that we're here for a purpose. And my career has been a really beautiful, again, all of it happy accidents, but a really beautiful reflection of that. And even Hallmark, my entry into Hallmark, I was turning stuff down. I even turned down a movie with Dolly Parton, if you can believe that. Stupid. But I did because I didn't want to do these movies in the week. But I got to a place where financially I needed to work and did my first Hallmark movie. And it sort of just, the doors blew open. And this amazing audience, like I was introduced to this unbelievable audience, this incredible fan base that they're so loyal and they're the best fans on the planet, hands down. and I'm so grateful for them. And they're loyal, and yeah, it's just been this really beautiful unfolding that I couldn't have planned myself. Like it's just I keep walking through open doors. I keep following those promptings that moved me from Catherine's right to her left, and I keep saying I don't know why, but I just feel better here. So yeah, I know what you went through, and I read your post on Instagram about your lethal arrhythmia, and it really, when we have those moments where our life is taken from us, or could be taken from us, and we're given it back, it raises, I think, your consciousness. I think your wisdom. You have an explosion of wisdom, and you have empathy, and you have a wealth of compassion that you never had before. Because I think when we're young, we take life for granted. And I think if you were like me, I had this air of invincibility about me, where I thought there was nothing. I thought I could do anything, and I was never going to die. Yeah, so we're similar. And then all of a sudden, you realize, oh, my time is ephemeral here. I don't know how long I have. I better make it last. I better have value. I better add value to it and make it kind of special. And that's just sort of been my, literally since that fall, since October 20. It was October 21. I think it was 96.
Okay.
I think mine happened 96 or 97. I forget the year. But since then, man, I have been grateful and really appreciative of the breath in my lungs.
That was so moving and inspirational, and I'm in the same way as you were. Growing up fast, growing up in Hollywood, being exposed to a lot, there was a lot of stuff that I wasn't living up to my potential, and I looked at where I was at that moment in life and just the things that lined up. The fact that they just put defibrillators in. One of the only employees who knew how to work it, wasn't scheduled to work, was training a producer from ER True Stories, and then they said there was this angel-like woman who saw me go down and alerted them, and she disappeared. So I
Whoa.
there's all these things that lined up, and I mean, I'm with you where I'm like, there's some greater being out there that's watching over, putting me on the right path. So there's no way I could bounce back from an experience like that, not be a believer, and then made me never want to take life for granted again. Like these are all blessings, and I was on the wrong path, and that got straightened out, and I'm forever thankful for that.
Dude, you just gave me the chills. Isn't it weird when, like, it does, like, there are angels in the world. They step in every once in a while. And I mean, think about that. That's wild. That's cool. Yeah,
It's,
I love that. I love hearing that. I mean, I'm sorry that happened. Is it, but in a weird way, we're better for it.
we are exactly, and I just look at there's so many experiences in my life that have been good, bad, and I really try to embrace everything, live life to the fullest. And it's interesting you mentioned, which is today, the 21st. I do have to give a shout out to my late cousin Benjamin Keogh, who would have been 30 years old today.
Oh
And
man.
he was someone who we had a lot of just similar experiences growing up, and we were always talking and relating about things. It's very sad what happened to him, but I feel like in a way he's been like my angel. He was there with me when I went through what I went through, and I remember talking to him and having numerous conversations. And I hope wherever he is now, he has found peace. So I'm sending a blessing to Benjamin right now.
Yeah, man. And I will. My heart is with you too, and condolences. And I know how hard that is for the people left behind. And yeah, man. I'm sorry for your loss.
No, but like you said, and you've just been such an inspiration as far as I look at the way that you've taken your life, and you're someone because you do great work. You've played such a range of characters, and you forward to the holidays to watch you on television, and then just the kind of you're a devoted father, you're a devoted husband. I think that you set a great example, and every time we've had a conversation or caught up, I just look at the energy that you bring into a room. So you're someone who I look at, who I admire professionally and as a person, and I really can't thank you enough for giving me your time today. I can't wait to see. We wish you a Merry Christmas. Is there anything else that you would like to say to your fans?
No, just how grateful I am. I really do love the support, and they jump on the Polaha Shiitake with me. I would love to have you come on. Would you love to come on my show?
I would love to come on your show. It'd be an honor.
Yeah, and I'm going to send you a short film that I made called "A Work of Art," specifically for what you just mentioned about your cousin. And no, man, I'm grateful that our paths have crossed. I'm grateful that we have been in each other's lives. Even though it's every once in a while, especially the pandemic, man, it scattered the wind, right? Everyone got scattered the wind, but yeah, dude, I love your heart, and I love what you're putting out into the world, and yeah, I'm honored to proud to be a part of your circle. So, and then just again, my fans, I really appreciate them. So yeah, enjoy the show. I do have a new book out.
We
Launched October 11th called Where the Sun Rises. So if you're new to me and you're interested, you can jump online. You can get it at Amazon or Barnes and Nobles, and they're romance novels, but I don't even like calling them that because they're more love stories, and we sort of they're cool books. I have a co-author named Anna Gomez, and it's our second book published together, and they're fun. They're cool.
Exactly, and I actually read this about you. Just started your promotional tour and book signing at Barnes and Noble this past week,
Yeah.
and you and Anna, you were meeting through Zoom. So this was the first time you've already written 2 or 3 books together, and was your first time meeting in person.
And we're literally writing our third book together, and this is the first time we met in person. And it's like we know each other because of Zoom and all that stuff. But there's something. It's the unintangibles that you get with like eye contact and how a person smells and looking at somebody when they're not looking at you, and the non-face on stuff like what profiles. Like what is a profile of somebody that. It's interesting. So it was cool to meet her in person, and didn't change anything. We're still doing good, but yeah, it's a wild world we're living in right now, and people can go 2 years and write 2 books together and never even meet. It's just crazy.
Oh, exactly. And I've had my share of Zoom relationships, and then with things opening up the last year and a half, it's like we have our in person. I really hope that comes back. Where I feel like even leading up to the pandemic, we're so glued to our phones and kind of simulated reality, and I feel like it's really open where people want to engage more. And I hope that really brings. I hope coming out of this, we all engage more and are there for each other. And I mean, like you and I have discussed too, our experiences have made us realize, you can't take life for granted and be the best that you can be and really live to your full potential and create good for the people around us.
Love that. Yeah, exactly.
Oh gosh. Well, Kristoffer, again, I can't thank you enough for your time. Everyone give it up for my buddy Kristoffer Polaha. He has this new movie, We Wish You a Merry Christmas, with Marisol Nichols, available October 22nd. This is kicking off Christmas season. Kristoffer, you are a dear friend, someone who I greatly respect and admire for who you are as a person and for your work. You have an open invite anytime. I can't wait to chat with you on your show, and really just keep rocking on this journey. I'm honored I could be part of it.
Kash, thank you, man. Again, Phil Simmer. I'm going to leave you guys with this beautiful view of Lake Tahoe, Nevada.
It's beautiful.
See you, brother.
See ya.